Thank you. It's more because of cybersecurity, I'm using my own laptop. So anyways, thanks for having me. Great to be back in Bangalore. So much happening in Bangalore. Every time I come back, I go back so much more inspired. So the previous speakers, everyone kind of set the stage for me for what I'm going to talk about. Basically, everything that they talked about is not going to be possible if you don't have proper cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is so important. And today, we're actually going to do a sort of a story, or we're going to go on a journey on how cybersecurity started, what it is today, and what we all as leaders in this room can do something for the future. That's what we're going to do. So a little flashback. Anybody know what this picture is? What this happy gentleman is working on? So it's called the ARPANET. So back in the day, as you can all remember, it used to be mostly mainframe systems. So after World War II, what the US government did was, they said, all these mainframe systems are sitting in silos all over the place, but they're also connected only via telephone lines. And the first thing the enemy does is to destroy the telephone lines. So we need a brand new way to connect computers together. And that's how ARPANET was formed. So it was started as an academic solution. It had nothing to do with the army or the navy or anything. They basically wanted universities to talk to one another. So the first message that was sent on the ARPANET was on the west coast of the US, if familiar. It is between LA and Stanford University in the Bay Area. So the message that they sent was LOGIN. And as it is with all computers, only the L and O reached the other side. So again, it was a start. It is a start of a beautiful journey that we now call the internet. So you'll understand why this is all super important in the context of cybersecurity very soon. So when something good comes about, what is the natural human tendency? Oh, I want to test something out. I want to break this system. So there's this guy, Bob Thomas from BBN Technologies. He said, I want to create a software that is able to self-replicate itself from one computer to the other. And he gave it a nice name. He called it a creeper. And what the creeper used to do is to jump from one computer to the other and say, catch me if you can. I'm the creeper. So this is all it did. And he didn't have any malicious intent. All he wanted to do was to see if their software could self-replicate itself. And he was successful. And it did affect only 28 computers at that time, because guess what, there was only 28 computers, but he was successful. So our friend Ray here looks at this and says, oh my God, this could be used in bad ways, so I need to figure out a way to stop this from happening. So he says, let me write a software to prevent this. If you can self-replicate from one computer to the other, I want a way to prevent that self-replication. So he actually wrote a virus to go stop that self-replication. And he called it the Reaper. So if you look back, go read, it's a lot of fun reading about the Creeper and the Reaper. This was the origins of what we call as cybersecurity today. If you take any virus today, that's how it happens. It affects one computer, then it goes from one computer to the other, or one system to the other. So anybody here know what else Ray is famous for? Something that we use on a daily basis. We spend a lot of time on our phones and computers. What else did Ray invent? Any guesses? Email. So Ray was the original founder of email as well. So rightly so, he is in the Internet Hall of Fame. So enough of the past. Who's this guy here standing talking to you about cybersecurity? So like Joe said, I live in the Bay Area. I've been in the technology space for more than 22 years. And I've been blessed enough to be at the cusp of major technology shifts at every stage. So when I started back in 2001, everyone was moving from mainframe to client server, then moving from client server to cloud, and now cloud to SaaS to AI and whatnot. And so the focus areas for me have changed over the years. And these are some of the things that I focus on right now and do a lot of work in. So it's a lot of fun to be part of what is going on in the technology space right now. So now let's talk about what is going on right now in the cybersecurity space. This is what I feel that is going on in cybersecurity space. If you take cybersecurity today, there's a lot of insanity that is going on. And there's a reason why I call this as insanity. So, if Einstein were to look at the current market of cybersecurity, he would say, we are doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So that is what the current cybersecurity market is doing. So, in order to understand further, maybe some of our European friends will like this. This is what the EU published, or the NSA agency, which is focused on cybersecurity, published on what are all the prime threats that are happening in the last few years. I mean, some of this on the right-hand side you'll see are things that have existed for a long time, like what Ray and Bob worked on, the viruses of the world, malwares of the world. And then off late with IoT and everything with AI coming in, there's a lot of things like social engineering and other aspects impacting cybersecurity. So this is a glimpse of where cybersecurity, or what cybersecurity is impacting in today's world. If you look at this chart 5 years ago, maybe half of these elements wouldn't have existed. But right now, it is impacting every single walk of life that we are part of. Whether it is mobility, whether it is healthcare, or whether it is digital infrastructure, or even personal data that you own on your phone, it is impacting every single aspect that is connected to the internet. And the worst part about today's cybersecurity world is half the people don't even know that they're attacked. In a lot of cybersecurity instances that are revealed to the world, they probably found out about it 6 months after they were originally attacked. That's the scary part, right? So back to the insanity part of it. To tackle all this, what the world has been doing is, we've been trying the same thing over and over again. If you go back and look at the cybersecurity market 20 years ago, a lot of these elements that you see on this particular slide still existed back then. Right? People still had firewalls 20 years ago. People still use firewalls right now. If firewalls work, on the IT side, people are moving firewalls to the IoT side of things as well. There's not been major disruptions in the world of cybersecurity of late, and that's primed to be disrupted. So this is a slide that Jose will like, or it's for the context of this particular forum. The World Economic Forum published this data to say what are the top 10 risks that are going to impact the world in the next 10 years or so, right? And you see everything that we're talking about in this particular forum published by the WEC. The important part about cybersecurity is it's actually made this list for the first time. That's how important cybersecurity is. None of the things that we want to do as for the good for the world, sustainability and all that is possible without actually cybersecurity being an integral layer of it. So what can we do about it? Let's talk about the future. So back to NSA again. So NSA published these 10 elements as the future threats that are going to impact the world. I'm not going to go into each of them. Let me cover a few of them. Jan actually mentioned something about elections. Believe it or not, there are 2 billion people who are going to be part of elections this year in 50 different countries. Imagine a deep fake happening the night before the elections, spreading some false information, and it can change the course of history if that happens. Second one, ICT, cross-border ICT, right? The whole focus of this particular session. If that is impacted, you cannot do anything. Everything comes to a standstill, so to speak. Skill shortage. This is something that all of us in this room can take care of. So if you look at an IBM report, it said last year there was a shortage of about 750,000 cybersecurity jobs around the world. What can we do as leaders? Tell our children about it. Tell university students about cybersecurity. There's a lot of opportunity about cybersecurity and jobs. Then IoT. Everything here is connected to the internet. Everything we saw in the previous presentations is connected to the internet. So IoT is a huge focus as well. So aside from that, what's the general market doing right now? These are all the different elements. These are all coming from very reliable sources around the internet. So I just summarized it. But what is the way forward? What is it that we can all do as leaders here? First, from the grassroots level, everyone needs to be aware of cybersecurity. From your grandma to your grandpa, everyone needs to know that your data is at risk, right? From our children, everyone needs to know that cybersecurity is super important. technical technology investments and skills, whether it's in schools or colleges, super important. And this forum is a great example of the world coming together and talking about something as important as this. We need to work together as a global community. Then disruption. A lot of what you saw was cure after the fact that an attack happened is what we have solutions for. What can we do before the fact? How can we go on the offense? And then last but not the least, Jan again mentioned AI. How can we make AI work for us for the good? How can we prevent before something happens? How can we use the current buzzword that is AI to do cybersecurity better? So that's all I wanted to leave you with. Thanks so much for the opportunity, and would love to take any questions throughout the day.